Percents. Today, we're looking at problems that involve basic percents and problems that involve percent increase and decrease. Let's take a look at the first type, basic percents. The question here is, what is 120% of 2,000? Round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. Let's think a little bit about what this means. When I see this notation, 120% of 2,000, this is actually kind of like a multiplication problem. We're going to do 120% times 2,000. Now, when we're typing this into our calculator, depending on the kind of calculator that we have, it may or may not be able to read that percent. So I want everyone to know how to convert this into pure decimal form. When we have a percent after a number, that means that we can find the decimal and move it 2 spaces to the left. So my 120, my decimal wasn't originally visible. So that means it came at the end. To take care of this percent, I will move that decimal 2 spaces to the left. So my new position is between the 1 and the 2. So my new problem is just 1.20 times 2,000. And we can grab a calculator to do that for us. I'm going to grab the one that's over my head. So I'll type this in. 1.20 times 2,000. My answer is 2,400. 2400. Do I need to round to the nearest hundredth? No, it's not necessary. I don't have more than 2 things after my decimal point. In fact, I just have this decimal and no information after it. So I don't need to do any rounding, and I submit my answer. Great. Let's look at another problem like this. What is 3% of 800? Round to the nearest hundredth if necessary. Okay. Once again, I have a percent, 3%. But I want to rewrite this in pure decimal form. So that means I can take the decimal, which was invisible, so that means that it came after the last digit, and I need to move it 2 spaces to the left. 1, 2. Wait, how do I show that? How do I show this empty space? With a 0. So now I have enough room to put my decimal and then a 0, and then my 3. So 3% gets written as 0.03. Then we can do our problem like normal. It's a multiplication problem. 0.03, another name for 3%, times representation of 800. And we have our answer is 24. Super. Let's do one more like this. What is 0.05% of 400? Again, round your answer to the nearest hundredth if necessary. Okay, now I've got 0.05%, and I want to rewrite this. So instead of the 0.05, I take that decimal point and move it 2 spaces to the left. 1 space gets it over this 0, but another space we need to fill in an extra 0, so we can write the decimal here, 0.0005. Okay, now it's time to do the multiplication. 0.0005 times our number 400. And that gave us 0.2. Fantastic. So to do these basic percent problems, remember to convert your percent into pure decimal form and then multiply your two numbers. Let's take a look at the next type of problem. Percent increase or decrease. What is the result when the number 70 is increased by 10%? So this is similar to a tax problem. If something cost $70, but then you also had to pay a 10% tax. It seems like I'm adding to this, so I know that this process will involve at least some addition. But first I need to figure out 10% of my original. What is 10% of 70? Well, I can use those basic percent skills. 10% could be rewritten as 0.10, and if I multiply that by 70, I'll get just 7. And that's a shortcut that I hope many of you know. 10% of any number is just moving the decimal one space to the left. So 10% of 70 is 7. So if 70 was increased by 10% of 70, if 70 was increased by 7, really just what we're doing is 70 plus 7, which is 77. Okay, but there's actually another way to think about this problem. Since I'm going to do an increase, I might take my original number and use a little bit of a trick. I'm keeping my original number, keeping is represented by 1, and I'm adding 10%, 0.10. Let me try typing that into the calculator. 70 parentheses 1 plus 0.10. Hey, I got that 77 again. This might be useful. Let's take a look at another problem. What is the result when the number 92 is decreased by 50%? Ooh, 50% off. That's quite the sale. So if my original number was 92, and I need to take away 50% of that, so I'm taking away 50% of 92. We can use some of the skills that we've previously practiced. I know that 50% means 0.5, and here of is just multiply. 0.5 times 92, or half of 92. I'll type that in here. 0.50 times 92, and that's 46. Then what is 92 minus 46? Well, you might have predicted this already, but it is 46 again. Whenever we're decreasing something by 50%, we're taking away half of it, so what's left is the other half. I wonder though, does our little trick work for this too? If I start with 92, and I have my original, and I take away 50%, am I still going to get the 46 I hoped for? Let's see. 92 groups of 1 minus 0.50. Yeah, 46 again. Okay, let's take a look at one more problem. This one I want to do as simply as possible, so I'm going to try that shortcut and see how I can make it work. What is the result when the number 90 is increased by 10%? Let's use our shortcut form. First, I start with my original number, and then I use parentheses 1. All of these problems, the percent increase or decrease level 1, I'm going to have my original number, parentheses 1. The next thing is a choice. Am I increasing or decreasing? Here it's increase, so I'll put in a plus. The last thing that I need to do is my percent, but written as decimal form. 10% really just means 0.10. I close that out and type it. Let's see if it works. 90 groups of 1 plus 0.10. So this claims that it's going to be 99. Let's test it. Yes. Okay, so to recap, when you're going to do a percent increase or decrease problem, use this form. Your original number, parentheses 1, plus if you're increasing, minus if you're decreasing, and then the percent rewritten in pure decimal form. Let me know what your problems are, and good luck.